All right, guys, what I'm about to show you may actually limit future sponsorships from Govee, but I'm going to show you anyway, because these are the latest and greatest Govee lights. These are the Govee Prism, but they are not being controlled by the Govee app. That's right, these are set up with WLED, and you're probably watching this video because you know about WLED and how great it is. Well, I'm going to show you how you can actually get these lights to work with WLED. Coming up. The cool thing about WLED is that you have individual, these are all different effects that come with it. And there are lots of them. And some of them can actually be sound reactive as well. But it also has the power of being able to separate your lights into segments. Now, in this example, I only have one segment, and it says here that the start LED is 0 and the stop LED is 18. That means there's 18 lights on the segment. And that's because I have one string here, and there are 6 pucks on the string, and each puck has 3 lights in it. And you can control each of those individually. Each light can be controlled individually. But you also have the ability to separate it into multiple segments. So for example, if I do this here, is 3 solid colors. The way that I did that is with 3 segments. You can see I can turn them on and off individually. And you can actually set a different effect for each one of those segments. So for example, this is 3 segments, but each one of the segments has a different effect. I'll show you. So let's start with the left one. You can see the left one is some rainbow colors like that. The center is just like a purple color. And the right one is red, white, and blue. But when you put them all together, you have no idea that it's not a coordinated pattern or a random pattern. So this is so cool. This is called Flow with a palette called Rainbow. And a palette is like these color palettes on the left-hand side. And I will just show you that's Rainbow. But I can change it to anything else. Pink Candy, Red Reef, Red Shift, Sherbet, anything you want. And you can make your own if you want. You can, of course, set it to any of the effects that you want. The possibilities are endless. All right, I guess that's enough playing with it. And now I'll show you how I did this. All right, to get started, I am just going to use the power supply that came with the Govee Prism, as well as the controller. I'm not using the controller, but I am going to use this end. This is the end that normally plugs into the end of the strings. I'm also using one of the splicing kits, and one of these ends is going to connect to the power supply. And this enables me to separate the power using these two. The red and the blue are the power. The red is the positive and the blue is negative. I'm not going to use the yellow one because that's the signal coming from this controller. That's what I'm going to replace with WLED. Now the next thing you're going to need is a WLED controller. Now this happens to be one from Atham. It's a very inexpensive one. This is just a single channel and it runs on 5 to 24 volts on the input. Now by default, whatever comes on the input side is the same voltage that goes on the outside. But that won't work for me, and I'll tell you why. Govee lights work on 36 volts, so this is a 36 volt power supply. If I connect that to my WLED controller, I will fry the controller. So what I need to use, and you can do it differently. You can do it with 2 separate power supplies. You can use a 5 volt power supply for this if you want. But what I'm going to do is I have this. This is a buck converter. It converts the voltage. The input volt is 36 and the output volt is 12. So 12 is within the range of this. So I can use this buck converter to convert 36 volts from this power supply to 12 volts to power my WLED board. Now the buck converter has, the input side is the red and black, and the out is the yellow and black. And the black are both the grounds, and they're both really connected together. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just first connect the WLED box with the black and the yellow. And you can see I'm connecting, the yellow is VCC, which is the positive, and the black is the ground. Okay, so that's my 12 volts. The other side is going to be the 36 volts. Now, where am I going to get that from? I'm going to use this splicing kit. This is the one connected to the power supply and the controller, the old, the Govee controller. Now, what I need to do is use the other side of the splicing kit. This is what's actually going to connect to the lights. So if I take the light string, this is the inside of the light, and that's the start of the string. This is where I'm going to connect power to. Now, to do this, I need to bridge between these two. And to do that, I need some jumpers. So first is going to be the red. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect these two together. Now, this is just a hack. I would not do it like this permanently, but for this demonstration, it's fine. So this is my power coming in from the power supply. So I'm going to take those two wires, twist it together, and put them in here, in the red, on the splicing kit. And I'm going to do the same thing with the black. I got to get a black jumper and put that around this one, and put that in the blue part of the connector here. I always like to give them a tug just to make sure. Okay, so that's my 36 volts. These two have 36 volts coming out of them. So 36 volts is also going into the buck converter, which is going to power my WLED box. Now this side is just going to get connected in here to the strings. The black one goes into the blue because that's ground. The red one is the positive voltage. Now the yellow one is the signal. The signal, also known as data, isn't going to come from the Govee app. It's going to come from this controller. This is the WLED controller. And on here, you can see it has one of these ports, one of these screws says DAT, that's data. That's the one that I want, the second one in from that side. And I'm going to use another jumper, this time green. Okay, so there's my data, and I'm going to put the data in the yellow. Okay, now I have all three. 36 volts comes in from the power supply here, and this is 12 volts on the yellow, comes into WLED, and out of here comes the data signal from WLED. And now I'm just going to plug it in. And you can see it is working. Now for the secret sauce. If you want to use WLED to control Govee Prism lights, first go into the WLED configuration, then security and updates, and verify you're running WLED version 0.15.1 or later. If you're not, you'll need to go and download it and install the update first. Then go to LED Preferences, and under Hardware Setup, select SM16825 RGBWC. That's the type of control chip that's in these lights. Be sure the color order is GRB and change the swap to warm white and cool white. Now let's take a look and see how these look on the house. First of all, WLED gives you complete control of the dedicated white LEDs in the Govee Prism lights, so you can use them for accent lighting with warm white or cool white or anything in between. Now here's what my presets look like on the house instead of the desk. If you're curious how I made these, check the video description for info about the specific effects and color palettes behind each of these presets. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment with your thoughts. And I'll see you in the next one. Hey there, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be the first to know when new videos are posted. Look for HandyDadTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit the website HandyDad.tv for more great ideas and information.